technology is there, and they are
And their
absolutely
ocean is
innovators in what they do. And it's going to be an interesting part of our next generation of what's happening, especially from the technology standpoint with this AI deal that was made with Sam Altman and his open AI in this part of the world, because there's a lot happening.
Welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. I'm Farley Boyle.
I'm Darian Boyle.
And I'm Jennifer Brenius.
Collectively, we're two sister-in-laws with our bestie.
We don't just talk, we do it. Day, night, mountain, beach, and city.
Get ready as we bring gratitude and attitude to everything we do.
We jump in head first, unafraid, and we're all in all the time.
We bring it on and get it on each week, diving deep into authentic, unscripted conversations
on just about everything. So
let's get gritty.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Don't wait until tomorrow.
I'd like to thank you for tuning into another episode of Girls Gone Gritty. We're coming to you from Bring It On Studios, and we're excited to take you on a journey today. So for those of you that have been forwarded this from somebody that knows that you enjoy traveling and other things, we're going to get to that in a little bit. But right now, I'm tuning in with my girls, Darian and Farley. Girl, how's everything going today?
Far, you must be so excited to have your girls back home underneath one roof.
It's exciting.
And they've been nonstop, right? Haven't they started lifeguarding? I mean, isn't that where, I guess, Abby's lifeguarding, Chase is, give me some scoop on the girls, a quick hit.
Chase has to take the SIE this weekend, and then she is off to Team USA, and then she's going to be looking for an apartment to move into the city. And I'm taking Abs and a whole crew of people in a Sprinter van to Vermont for our traditional trip. So
Fun.
Looking forward to doing all kinds of hands-on stuff with my girls.
Well, I love watching the photos and the videos when you're up at Sugarbush, because Sugarbush is my heart and soul, my favorite place in the world, aside from Seagirt. You have so much fun, and it's every year.
Only in the summer instead of the winter. It's like a bummer. But now that I don't have kids that can't ski as a part of their contractual obligations to lacrosse, except for Abby, I'll be coming up and seeing you.
Well, I can't wait to get them on the slopes this year. And Dee Dee's on fire with sports. Yesterday, she played lacrosse, into soccer. Then they asked her to play in a basketball game. Then into tennis with her friends. So, you know, it's a precursor to summer and traveling and sunshine. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, right?
In the summertime. Jack, my son who lives in Telluride, Colorado, you'll love this footage, and maybe we put it up. He's surfed the rivers. He's learning to surf the rivers in Montrose, Colorado, and doing the stand up. And it's a stationary wave. It's a really cool thing in the summertime to be in the mountains. So I'm excited for both of you guys.
Yeah, I surfed at the World Extreme Sports Award. I was nominated for the best female free skier in the world, and I actually won. But it was really cool because in Germany, there's a river and it's called the Eisbach, and people are riding their bikes around with big surfboards, and we surfed it. We had Kelly Slater. You had the best athletes in the world surfing this river, and there's big giant blocks underneath the water, and you'd jump in and you'd surf the wave, and then you'd wipe out, and then you'd run against the river, you'd throw your board, and then you jump out and you do it again. Can't wait to see video.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Guess what Mackenzie's doing this weekend? She is swimming with whale sharks for her birthday. So her birthday is June 7th, and I actually got her a camper, and the four of them are going 14 hours away from Perth to a natural park that is number one on her bucket list, to swim with whale sharks.
Oh my God, that's amazing. How exciting. Well, we're so fortunate that the kids have the opportunity to do these amazing things. But before we get to all the world travels of everything and get taking you to another place, where are we on our top 3 this week, Dee?
Okay, well, coming in at number 3 is the Paris Saint-Germain European Football Club claims their first victory by literally lighting up the town. And I'm not talking in a good way.
It's always so sad when you have somebody who wins something for the first time and the fan base goes so bonkers that there's riots in the streets. I guess there were 2 young kids that were killed, one on a scooter and then one got stabbed. It's just really, really sad. I mean, get it together, people.
Mob mentality is terrifying.
Terrifying. Prefer the happy celebrations.
Yes.
Coming in at number 2, trailer tractor flips over and releases 14 million honeybees. Now, that's some way to get a buzz.
I'm just wondering how they knew that there's 14 million bees.
I think at one point they said 250 million, and then they backed off their numbers when they talked to some of the beekeepers. Darian and I were talking about this story before, and it's interesting that the beekeeping industry is exactly that. It's become an industry, and these hives have to be moved all across the country in order to pollinate all different crops because there aren't enough bees to do it on their own anymore.
No, it's very cool. Our friend Janet Sheehan, she makes the most delicious honey. And they say if you eat local honey, it helps you with all your allergies. So always buy local honey.
Yeah. Raw is the way to go.
Coming in at number 1, it's a little creepy. It's the hottest new doll trend brings babies to life with reborn dolls. This is not a real baby. All of you that have those baby dolls, get a grip. Seriously.
I just remember as a kid, I wanted Baby Alive because like I could shove a bottle in her mouth and she had like a little pee hole and she would actually go to the bathroom. And I thought that was amazing. What is this about? This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
I think they started with good intentions, like many things do. It was a pre-parenting tool and unfortunately a grief tool. And it's really been taken to the next level by a lot of these Brazilian parents, I guess I would call them.
Only in Brazil? Because I have.
Well, it started in Brazil, but you look that they have meetups at parks and everyone brings these baby dolls once again to these groups. They started bringing them to the hospital, trying to have the doctors and nurses work on them, that they are now trying to say, we can't have these dolls anymore. Look, I love it. I love dolls. I love babies. My mom grew up loving baby dolls as it teaches you compassion, but this goes to another level. They're not real and they look real. They're creepy.
Hospital for treatment.
Yes.
Cuckoo blue.
Well, I feel like those trends always get cuckoo blue, like you said, the Baby Alive and the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Cabbage Patch, they were creepy.
And what ends up happening is the economics of it just go crazy. And I think that's part of it. I think they're trying to bring sensationalism to it because the price is not even quadrupled on 10 times fold, where the dolls are starting at like $120 and go up to like $1,800 for their lifelike activities. Is crazy town. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, they make sounds. They're literally, they look real and they're in the crib and they're walking them and you almost come up, baby, and things just sitting there.
Weird.
And then you're like, baby doll.
Weird. We're coming into weirdo world.
What's funny is that my mom this morning, she called and said, did Dee Dee have one of these reborn dolls? The dolls that look, she didn't name it, the dolls that look like they're real babies? No, she's 10. She's an American Girl doll.
And American Girl doll was highway robbery. You could take them to get their ears pierced, and I did all of that with my girls. But this is taking things to the next level. And steroids.
It's scary.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the world of crazy town.
It is.
There it is. Well, we're going to go in the Middle East. So for those of you tuning in today, I had the opportunity to almost follow in the footsteps, minus Saudi Arabia, of our president who was there last week. And we thought with all of the people who like to travel, maybe it'll give you a little window into this part of the world and just kind of be conversational about traveling and the experiences that you learn and things that you can garner from that.
Why don't you start off by telling them your actual itinerary? Exactly where you went.
My husband has some colleagues in this area that he has never met. They do a lot of things virtually. And we all fundamentally believe here on the show that the best way to get to know people is to travel with them and sit down, have a meal and, have a conversation. So we ended up taking a trip to Qatar. Then we went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And for those of you that aren't aware of that area, it's near Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. Qatar is its own country, and Abu Dhabi and Dubai are part of the UAE, United Arab Emirates. So it's a really interesting part of the world. Obviously, it's Muslim and notorious for a lot of things. And we could talk about that today and hopefully give you a window into that. Because there's 7 regions in the UAE and explain to me that there was a prince who united all these different royal regions. And it was in an interest to protect their ways and make sure that they were, a statement in the world. And they really have done a lot of things that we can get to.
I know this is a ridiculous question. Somebody's own.
So the way that most of the UAE and even Qatar is that they have the royal family who is the ruler, but they are a sovereign nation where they still do have parliamentary type style and system where people participate in government, but the royal family decides mostly everything and can veto anything that they don't like. And let's go back to Qatar because it's where I started and where I stayed. The royal family in Qatar was pretty amazing because what ended up happening was back in 1971, they seceded from Britain and became their own country. And back in that time period, there was a huge exploration and finding of oil and gas, yet the technology hadn't come forth yet. So they seceded. And at that time, they were a nation that was built on the oyster industry and fishing. So they were a very small village. that was created in this beautiful peninsula that kind of jets from across from Saudi Arabia. The advent of technology enabled them to become a superpower in natural gas and oil. So they divested away from what their roots were and became the superpower. Now, about this royal family, whether you align with their principles or not, is that instead of taking this natural resource and taking it for themselves, they distribute the wealth amongst the people of Qatar. So when you're in Qatar, and we did a dune busting. So for those of you that don't know what dune busting is, I had never done it. I don't know, Darian, I feel like you've done everything. Is that you get in a Forerunner or a Land Cruiser or some vehicle that's, quite sizable, and they deflate the tires and you go up and down the dunes. And I have video of that we'll post too. And it's really, it's something actually I can say that the video doesn't capture it. I know, Darian, with your skiing, you can't see the scale and the size a lot of the times when you're doing things like that. But our guide was third generation Qatarian. And he gave us a lot of insights into the way that the culture has developed. And he educated us on the fact that because they have this vast amount of wealth, that they have free healthcare, they have free education through college, they pay 0 taxes, all their utilities are taken care of.
That sounds amazing.
When you get married, you're given a plot of land and you get 26-year free loan to build whatever you'd like on it. And they have invested in making sure that everybody has a safe and stable base.
Must be like a happy, joyful.
And that's just in Abu Dhabi, because Dubai is...
No. We're in Qatar.
I mean, sorry, in Qatar. Yeah.
Qatar.
Yeah.
And because of it, and this is the other extremely interesting thing, there is a 0% crime rate. There's a 0% crime rate. And part of it is what our Amir had told us. That was the name of our driver. He said that if you are someone who is a cheat or a thief or a liar, society shuns you.
Off with your head.
No, not
No,
even.
I'm just
like,
kidding.
you're just shunned. You're just shunned and nobody will
Fantastic.
give you any attention. And it's treated as you like to be treated, society. And it was really pretty cool.
Like how many people?
So that was the other interesting thing. There are 3 million people in Qatar, and there are only 500,000 Qatari people. So only 500,000 of that population gets those benefits I mentioned. Everybody else is an expat. And then the other thing that I found that was really interesting, and this is across Qatar and the UAE, is that if I'm an expat, meaning if I'm somebody who's not a resident of the country, if I'm a foreigner working there, living there, getting any kind of an income there, I don't pay any taxes at all back to my home country, except for the grand old United States of America. We are the only country that takes its taxes from their expats when we're living abroad. Isn't that crazy? It's a fact that I did not know, and I actually fact-checked it to make sure it was correct, and it's correct.
Now, are the women covered up? Can they drive cars? Can they play tennis? Can they
be the
people?
breadwinner?
The people that I met, so, the Qatari people that I met were all male. Everybody else was expat, and men and the women there, and I'll say this across the board, everybody's pretty covered up, the men and the women.
Did you get away with this there?
No.
Yeah.
No. And I wouldn't do that. That's the one thing that I'd say when I travel, I try to be very respectful of what the rules are of the other country. I was always carrying a shawl. I wore everything to the ankles. And to Darian's question, the traditional women are covered wrist to ankle. The men are covered wrist to ankle. All men wear white and the women wear black.
Is it still called a tam?
No, I'm not sure if it's called that.
I know
answer that
there's
question.
rules basically for Dubai, the women in Dubai.
No, Dubai is the most lenient.
Yes, no, I'm saying it's like it's super lenient. That's why I didn't know the differences.
So Qatar is the most conservative.
Right.
And the other interesting thing about Qatar, if you ever go there, and we'll post that, is that the way that the city has been developed is there is a traditional side of the city. They are completely alcohol free. Muslims do not drink alcohol, for those of you that didn't know that. So the traditional side of Qatar, you cannot buy alcohol with your meal. So we had a couple of meals out, and there's no wine, there's no beer, there's no alcohol at all.
So there's no alcoholics.
So no, there's no alcoholics, and
that's another bonus.
Is there,
yeah. But when you go on the modern side, so it's kind of shaped like a little bit of a crescent. When you go on the modern side, which has all been built up, and
is that the water line that you showed that
yes,
was so beautiful?
Yes.
And like all the different colors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a cool photo to share.
They had a little bit of back in the 90s when the technology and everything happened that would kind of boom the economy. There almost was a contest by the engineers of who could make the most luxurious, beautiful, breathtaking looking
24 karat gold
Amazing.
Exterior. I always feel like that's what I've heard is that it's like the Golden City.
Yeah. Well, you're probably talking about Dubai.
Dubai.
So
Dubai.
Qatar isn't as
Opulent. Yeah, I'd say opulent. And from there, we popped to Abu Dhabi, but didn't stay there. But
How
Abu
far?
Dhabi, we
this-
took a 45-minute flight to Abu Dhabi because you have to hop the ocean. You have to hop the sea.
Finally.
You have to hop. And then from Abu Dhabi, we drove to Dubai, which is about an hour and 10-minute drive, very easy through the desert. The crazy thing, talking about their engineering, is they're both, well, mostly in Dubai, but throughout this region, they're just building islands. They're building islands, and I'll post one of these on our story as well, that look like palms, because the prince in Dubai, the leader, the emir in Dubai, said he created the vision, and it's a palm tree. And it's because you can get as much coastal lines. It looks pretty. You can see them from space. It's insane. They're building islands bigger than Staten Island and building these enormous towers. So when we went to Dubai,
So there's no land. It's not an actual.
Well,
island.
it's a
They're
desert.
developing an island.
so what happened in this region is that because it got developed so quickly, there was nowhere coastal to build anymore. So they decided to build islands so that you could have more.
So man-made islands.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like there wasn't.
It's
land
because it
there.
Correct.
because in Dubai, it's kings, dictators. That's how the families are. They want to build something, and okay, I'm going to go build it. Anything they want, they buy. They don't share the wealth in Dubai by any means, because Jeff spent a lot of time over there. He has a horse over there. Jeff was there he was there often through doing business, and one of the sheikhs gave him an Arabian stallion. It's a silverback, which is still over there. And yes, and he said, I have my stallion. We'll never obviously come over here, but that's how they did business. I was talking to him, and he said, whatever they want, they build. I want a giant yacht. They build yachts. Everything's all about Ferraris, Bugattis, any kind of super, super high end, beautiful, wealthy, all the fabrics.
I'm confused because if they left Britain or London or, like the succeeded in 1971,
Qatar.
how are they regal? What defines them as
Why did they
royalty?
become royalty?
Yes.
Well, I think it was just the first people to be.
Okay, so it's not like they're direct descendants of
This is all
No.
certain kings, and it's all like
Arab.
Dubai is the way it is. It's because it's all oil money, and oil is really cheap there.
self-proclaimed kings in the beginning.
Well, no,
it's pretty much how this country was developed
Yeah.
too. The first people to take the railway across the West were the people that made money if they could hold on to it, right?
Right.
And in being in the desert, I'm sure is no different. But from the colleagues that we met in Dubai, they're as wealthy as everybody else. I mean, there's just so much wealth in
Is there a
this
drug problem
region.
there at all?
This is all me speaking to Jeff's
So
experiences, but he says
no drugs, no drug lords,
Very, very little. I mean,
No,
Dubai
because-
is more.
crime.
Dubai is
Sounds like
more
heaven.
westernized, and the people would dress more,
Well-
provocatively in Dubai. They call Dubai like the Las Vegas.
they set themselves up to be similar to Switzerland, where you can go and you invest money. The stock market is there. They do a lot of business. It's oil business. They manage money. They have the rule of safety, and it's like a law. So it's become a hub for people from London. Jeff said, no, this is the hot spot, and they wanted to make it so that when you went there were no problems. It's the neutral area, because if you go a few places over, you don't want to go that way. You don't want to go the other way. But Dubai is like this magical kingdom that you go in to start a new hotel. I'm going to build the biggest,
there gambling?
brightest
Well, they're
hotels.
very, very. I don't know about the gambling, but they're very happy for foreign investments. There's very little
Right.
entry issues for it, and which is why President Trump was there with Elon Musk and BlackRock CEO, and Sam Altman, and he made a lot of deals in Abu Dhabi in particular because of their interest in Americanized.
They want to
interesting thing is-
invest in once again, taking it back to making money. They want to invest in AI, in technology, in manufacturing. Who doesn't want to go to this Disneyland of beautiful, exotic, exquisite fabrics and outfits? And the women, you have to respect, obviously, the culture, but you can let your hair down there. Oh,
Which place did you like the best, Jen?
I like Doha the best, honestly. I mean, in fairness, I spent the most time there. I felt like I got to know the culture a little bit and I felt very comfortable and safe. It was a little bit of a whirlwind trip. I was really only there for 5 days total. I was in Doha for 2 full days, and I was in Abu Dhabi and Dubai for one full day, 1 full night each. And I like going to a place and getting into the culture. And I was able to see a lot of the museums and learn the Muslim tradition and get to understand that some of the misnomers we have about polygamy, those are old school. Now, it does have to do with the Quran and the Muslim tradition where they are allowed in their faith to have
Like in
4
Morocco
wives.
with the
Yes.
riads.
They're allowed
They
to have
have
4
Riyadh.
wives. No, they have the mosques. And I did go to the
No,
mosque.
Riyadh isn't a religious place. A Riyadh, when we stayed in Morocco, we actually stayed in a home that was a house with one man,
yeah, no.
but there were 4 sections for each family and wife.
Yeah.
Where we ate monkey brains.
Yeah, we did. I know. And
You
was
gotta
is
try it
still
all.
Salam Walaikum.
So
Everywhere we went, it was like, hi, I'm pleased to meet you. It was like Salam Walaikum. It was like,
Yes, Medi's
Right.
wedding.
I know.
Mhm.
I was thinking,
everybody speaks English. There wasn't even a question needing to greet somebody in a different language. It was
could
crazy.
you both like the right hand? Or
So,
left hand?
so traditionally, women, you don't shake any. I would never shake hands. I would usually put my hand on my chest, say hello, and just be very respectful. There wasn't a lot of greeting. They would be greeting John more than they would greet me with a handshake. It was a really cool, interesting part of the world. And I think that the other thing, to Darren's point, Dubai, what's happening is that the kings, the royal family, is so smart that they have brought in technology, science, and everything else. But they also have recognized your point of it's a great hop to a lot of other places. A lot of people will stop in Dubai on their way to someplace else further away from, if you're leaving from Europe or the United States. And
Jeff,
because of that,
he stopped there twice because he went to the Maldives and it's a layover for the Seychelles and all these spots. So that's where it has traffic, and that's how smart these kings are.
and they also recognize that their oil reserves are being depleted and they need to have a generational plan, and tourism is their generational plan. And it's why they're popping up. There's plans for 300 of these islands that I talked about.
Is there a lot of solar going on because of the sun and the desert?
No, but you know what's really interesting? I learned this, I was like, where do you guys get your water from? Because they import everything. They desalinate the ocean. So the technology is there, and they are absolutely innovators in what they do. And it's going to be an interesting part of our next generation of what's happening, especially from the technology standpoint with this AI deal that was made with Sam Altman and his open AI in this part of the world, because there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. So it was a really cool trip. Anybody that gets a chance to hop to Dubai on some other great worldly place.
Becoming like a much more of a hot topic or like a buzzword. Like
It's
people
just
are
a finance.
going there. Before it was like someplace that I felt like only the rich and famous bounced over to. And now I feel like I know people that are going and coming, and I'm sitting right next to you. And it's never been something that I've truly wanted to do, but now I'm curious.
Oh, Jeff said
after I saw your pictures and after
he said if we ever had the chance, he would take us because it's magical. It's so beautiful. He said, but I really want to know what goes on behind the veil.
Is it?
So I started digging. I knew there was an underground world.
Let's be honest. There's an underground world everywhere. You know what? Like from what I can tell you is that the people seem very well treated. If you've got a baseline in countries where you don't have to worry about healthcare and education, like that's enormous. And crime.
But you can't drink.
Yes, you can.
Well, in Dubai.
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Qatar, you can drink.
Yeah.
You just have to drink Western culture, which I've got no problem with.
No.
I've got no problem with that. It's good to take up. But I did also get to go, and I'll put this up too, the world's only 7-star hotel. We were at the top of the world's only 7-star hotel, and I'm not even going to try and botch the name of it, but I'll post a picture of it. And it is so opulent. It's absolutely insane. And that's built on one of these fabricated islands as well.
How can you go there and afford it? How can somebody that is relatively upper to middle class go and actually feel like you can do what you want to do? Is it affordable?
If you go in the shoulder season, so it gets incredibly hot. So when we were there, the expats were leaving to go someplace else. They were leaving to go to France. They're getting out of the desert because it's incredibly hot. So when we went this time of year, and when President Trump was there back in the middle of the month, prices a little bit more affordable. But I will tell you, you got to be invested in a flight. I mean, direct, it was 12 on the way and 14 on the way back.
12,000?
12. No, not 12. 12 hours.
12 hours. Yeah.
12 hours. 12 hours.
It's like going
12 hours.
I mean, you're going far.
You're going far.
Yeah.
You're going far. So, but it's well worth it. So anyway,
Sharing. Exciting. I love hearing it. It makes me want to travel. I'm getting it.
Getting jiggy with it.
So, Jen, who is our gut grip maker this week?
all right, Melanie Challenger. Melanie Challenger is somebody who is fighting for the rights of some groups that are not represented in our legislation across the world. And those are our animals. She has decided that she wants to fight for the rights of animals and their habitats and all the things that have been taken from them unfairly. She is part of Animals in the Room, which is grounding their work in studying and gathering data on non-human animals to explore how they can be a part of the political and environmental systems that impact them. So we'd like to recognize her for her diligent efforts for these unrepresented groups on our planet.
I love it. That's all right. We'll just give her gut grit.
So living beings are subject to justice that can communicate their interests, and we haven't experimented the democracy to figure out how to include them in our future system.
That's animals.
Yeah, they need a vote. And
Right.
who's going to vote for them? So she's trying to take charge and be their voice to represent their rights. So I'm going to bulldoze a land for building a beautiful island in Dubai. Well, how's that going to affect the ecosystem and the marine life? There's somebody that,
The voice.
yeah,
She's
but
the
it's
voice.
kind of like back.
And
It's
she
a
comes
little bit like
secret
the Lorax,
dogs.
who speaks for the trees.
Got it.
I love it.
So she's speaking for the animals.
Are we ready to get a little gritty with the song of the week? I have a song that I always love to hear the lyrics. It makes me feel positive and happy. And it's one of the lines in the lyrics is one of my mantras that I said, and I was teaching it to Dee Dee. And
Go big or go home.
go big or go home. Send it. You ask me, am I happy? Well, as a matter of fact, I can say that I'm ecstatic because we all just made a pact. We've agreed to get together, joined as children in Jah. When you're moving in the positive, your destination is the brightest star. Master
Oh.
Blaster from Stevie Wonder. My fave.
I love Stevie Wonder.
love
That's a
Stevie
great
Wonder.
song. I love that lyric. I don't think I paid attention to
it's-
that lyric.
Since I was skiing.
I love that.
Moving into the positive, your destination is the brightest star. Keep swimming, just
You're a
feel it.
shining star, no matter who you.
Anything having to be stars.
I thought it was reggae.
I did too. But
Yeah, you know,
Because that is your vibe.
that is my vibe. I get it all.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for another Girls Gone Gritty. And we hope that we took you to the Middle East and inspired some future travels. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us for another Girls Gone Gritty. We are so excited that you are tuning in. Please share our vibe with other people.
Yes, I love that. I love
I mean,
sharing vibes.
Let people know that you're listening and help us tip this fabulous little podcast that we've got going because we enjoy it and it makes us happy and we want to continue going full steam ahead.
Seeing you girls makes me happy.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Peace
Bye.
out. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty.
You can check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
If this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to get gritty.
The 3 Gs. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.